IT Expo, Los Angeles, California, 2008.
Good morning. Welcome to IT Expo. I'm here at day 3 with Bill Miller, Digium's Vice President of Product Management. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, good morning, Eric.
Thanks for joining us. So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing in terms of the adoption of Asterisk and Asterisk-based solutions in the market today.
Well, of course, you know that I get very engaging with that question. So I love to get asked that question because every week there seems to be more and more activity. We still get 3,000 plus downloads per day, and that's just Digium's distribution. There's probably 2.5 times that we don't track, and that's every day around the world. About 50% of them outside the U.S. So we know it's a worldwide phenomenon. The thing that was interesting this week is everywhere that I went in both the sessions and on the exhibit floor last night, people are beginning to admit that they actually are building solutions with Asterisk as a key element to that solution.
Why the increased interest, increased adoption?
Well, that's a great question. I think there's several responses to that. I'll try to pick one or two that are interesting to the people that may want to know. One is it's starting to hit the mainstream. So Asterisk, being the world leader, has a target on its back. So there's always new people that want to do two things. One is to leverage our market. And so we have people that build Asterisk solutions and compete directly against us. And that's part of the open source model. And then there's other projects that want to leverage the excitement of the mainstream. So we do see a pure mainstream adoption of open source-based Asterisk solutions. And you can see that with the number of people, for example, that are attending our event next week, AstriCon, of which TMC is a media sponsor. And there's more and more people that are captive in the Asterisk world, and they want to learn how to develop, how to sell it, how to integrate it, how to leverage the ecosystem, and how they can play and participate. And that's something different. It used to be people would not tell the world that they're using Asterisk. I'm just using a solution that I bought, and they don't talk about it. This week I've walked into booths, been walking on the floor, been in a session, and people will say, well, I use Asterisk. I have 5 locations, I do this, I do that, 1,000 users, and that's just very opposite of what we've seen in the past.
That's excellent. Anything specific come to mind that you've seen or heard at the show today, this week?
Oh boy, specific. Well, from a product perspective, no. There are a couple of interesting. Yeah, there was one good thing that I saw in one of the open source panels on the first day. The Skype Jonathan Christensen was on an open source panel, which a lot of people questioned, and we learned that Skype uses open source in their architecture, and we learned that they terminate SIP trunks. And that they have over $130 million in revenue from terminating SIP trunks. And the thing that we thought was interesting about that was that people questioned why Skype is a keynoter at AstriCon next week, which they are, and why is another Skype executive on an open source panel here, and I think we're starting to see them even come out of a shell that they've been in the past. I think that's probably the biggest aha for me this week.
So you're seeing more crossover into the proprietary world.
Yeah, I think it was Gartner Group that made a suggestion, or a recommendation, or proposal, or projection, whatever you want to call it, in a report they published recently on open source, that within 3 years from now, by the beginning of 2012, more than 80% of all software will have an element of open source integrated in it. So it's a merger of open source for kind of like the engines, and Asterisk is really an engine. And above that, it's really an applications game. And I think that's the fundamental change. All the features and functions and all that are just minute changes now. It's really all about the application, and that's what people today call unified communications.
Absolutely. It's certainly a common theme that I've been hearing this week.
Sure.
It is all about the applications. One last question for you. What are some of the exciting things that you're looking forward to at AstriCon next week?
Well, I love that question too. So this year it's kind of interesting. We This is the first year that Digium has done it from start to finish because we acquired the company that had done that before. We have 5 tracks this year, which is an expansion of 20%. We have 55 speakers. 4 of those tracks and 4/5 of those speakers are technical in nature, and they're talking about problems they've solved with Asterisk. And some of them are very complex, and some of them are very simple. And the other one is a business track. We right now are running about 20 to 25% ahead of all previous registrations in the previous 4 years. This is the 5th year, and we're excited to have TMC as a partner. They've helped us out with their website and cross marketing, and we think it's going to be very successful.
Fantastic. Well, certainly we're happy to be working with you there, and wish you the best of luck with that show next week. We've been chatting with Digium's Bill Miller at IT Expo here in Los Angeles, California. Thanks for joining me, Bill.
Thank you.